Paul Scivetti. All right. Love it when technology works. All right, SQL CE and Windows Phone. When I first heard that Windows Phone was going to have a relational database, finally, I'm like, this is awesome. Yes, this is fantastic, because relational databases are a great way to store complex object graphs, and real applications have complex object graphs, right? That's fantastic. It's also baked right into the framework with the Windows Phone 7.5. It's the new Mango version, so you don't have to do anything. It's just there. Awesome. Also, Microsoft has a long history with relational database tools. I mean, come on, we've got Visual Studio, we've got SQL Server Manager, you've got all these great tools. I was really, really, really pumped about this. So, guess what? Design an app. Now, this is, for me, I need a little bit of balance in my life. It's the beginning of the year, I work too hard, I need some balance. So I said, hey, we need an app for that. So I'm going to design the Pizza Meter app. It's my personal pizza manager to make sure that when I attend user groups, which we all attend these things for the food, of course, and the free pizza, that I'm getting a proper amount of balance in my diet here. So, okay, so this app, we're going to do the simplest app that I can find to test out SQL CE. So this is a very simple database structure. We've got food, which would be pizzas. I've got events, which are the the user group meetings, and I've got an association table that maps between them so I can keep track of this, from many to many. It's about as simple as it gets. And again, I'm thinking about Microsoft. I'm thinking about their long history with tools. They really do a great job. So I am expecting a feast of tools and options and all kinds of things. It's fantastic. And then I open up the box. I start looking at what's involved. And we get code first with link to SQL. That is a little unsatisfying as you think about it. A little dip in my enthusiasm as I'm getting into this. But all right, let's give it a try. Code first. I'm not a big code first guy. I'm a think first guy. Code second. I do better with that. So, all right. So code first. So you start writing some code. Now again, remember we have 3 tables. That's it. So we write some code. And write some more code. And a whole lot more code. 500 lines of code for 3 tables. And I will tell you that the application that inspired this actually wasn't the Pizza Manager. It was at the Windows Phone Accelerator camp, and I was working on an application that needed some complex local store. My mind was aching when I was done with the day. Because remember, I'm looking for 3 tables. I'm not feeling the love for SQL CE. I'm not feeling the love for SQL CE and code first. At the end of a day, the first day of the Phone Accelerator camp, my brain was achingly numb from having to deal with all this code. So today, what I want to talk about is SQL CE, some of the basics, how you set this up, and what tools really are available. Because you can't write real apps with code first. Well, you can if you have a lot of time and you like beating yourself on the head. It's not a bad use of time. And if we have some time at the end, we get to some performance issues. Now, for the sake of brevity, because this is the Toastmaster Club, at this point I will be breaking for a demo, but I'm going to take 2 minutes and just talk a little bit about what we have going here. SQL CE is it's a file stored up. The database is actually stored in local storage, isolated storage on your Windows Phone app. You have to do a lot of the maintenance. You set it up. You have to take care and manage the transitions of the database from version to version to version. But when you're initially developing, you don't get a lot of tools. There are some tools. There's one tool that comes with link to SQL. It's a command line tool. It's called SQL Metal. I'm not really a big fan of command line tools, but I'm less a fan of writing all that code by hand. So SQL Metal is actually It's the almost compliant tool that you can use to start generating your databases. When I say almost compliant, I asked about SQL Metal at the Phone Accelerator camp. I said, okay, well, we use SQL Metal to generate from an existing database. Use the visual tools and generate. And they said, well, it doesn't really work. It kind of works, it doesn't work. Turns out there's only 4 things that are missing for SQL Metal to work. There's 3 additional constructors that require parameters that you don't have to delete those. Generate the file, delete those. And then the other thing is you just do a global search and replace on your generated file and take off DBO dot off of all your table names, and voila, it works. So you go from having to write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lines of code to manage the associations, all that fun stuff, to generate, delete 3 methods, search and replace, and you're starting to rock and roll. And with the performance, the only thing I'm going to touch on with performance is sometimes the SQL CE can be, it's not bad, but sometimes it can be a little pokey as it's getting itself going. You can actually wrap your database calls in async methods. So your database access now becomes async. That doesn't actually speed up your app. It speeds up the perception of how fast your app is because the user interface snaps. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. At this point I would switch to a demo, but for now, for TechMasters, I'm going to draw this to a close and switch it back to our Toastmaster. Toastmaster.